Hello everyone and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series Division B Grand Finals. I am Bahamut, one of the hosts this evening. I am joined by Cat Peach. Are you ready for these games?
How can I not be ready? The other night in Division B East, we saw Bellevue College kind of drop their first map all season. On the other side, we have here is the United States coming in for the second time in a row, being here as well in Season 4. So it's an epic story. I am so excited to see how the season ends for both these teams.
And I realized way too late that I forgot to crop out the little black box, so I'm currently doing that now as we went live. And I should have actually done this while we could have actually been showing the entire bracket, but while we have the opportunity, let's go ahead and show the wonderful, wonderful folks at home where this bracket came from and just these teams, like how the whole playoff culmination happened. It's honestly like an amazing story. The West Coast literally had the number 1 and versus the number 2 for the grand finals, or for the finals for the coastal final. And then on the East we had, Gilly Shark versus Hodis, which is the 4 and the 2nd. So definitely had a little bit more of a shakeup on the East, but the West side, the number 1 coming through, and then on the East Coast you're gonna be having the number 2 Hodis coming through. This bracket was so much fun to watch develop, Cat Peach. I had so much fun with this, but as I bring it back to us, are you ready for these games? Like, I don't know how, like, I don't know if you're excited enough or ready enough.
I will say I'm pretty excited. Like, honestly, when you're going into a series like this where you have one team that's just like, yeah, we haven't really dropped much, it's always interesting to theorize how it might go, and paying attention to what maps are going to and what heroes get picked up and all that stuff, trying to theorize who's going to come out on top in these series. Like, it's going to be a blast. Both these teams work so incredibly hard all season to get to this position. So they're going to pull out everything, I think, that they've been practicing and kind of keeping in their pockets specifically for this scenario. So I'm really hoping to see some really interesting drafts and some really good games.
Good games indeed. All right, we are currently finding out if the teams are ready, but while we have that going on, let's also go ahead and update everyone at home with what the maps were. Let's go ahead and swap over to the map bans, and we currently had, so we went to coin flip. That was won by Bellevue College. They went for map choice, so they banned out Braxis Holdout. Volskaya was then banned out by the members of Here's the United States, and Infernal Shrines is the first map chosen by the members of Bellevue College. Also, shout out to Weenus for this amazing overlay. But Cat Peach, we are currently seeing the team saying R, and I think we need to get going into our first match of this best of 5 grand finals.
Yeah, I'm really curious how this map will go in particular, because it was picked by Bellevue. But on the side of Here's the United States, they've come to this map quite a bit, specifically in the regular season, sitting at a 6-1 record here. So even though Bellevue has the 100%, they haven't been here as often. So I'm wondering if maybe Here's the United States is looking at this and saying, we actually feel pretty good here. So for game number 1, we might actually have a shot to get ahead early in the record. Ooh. This is so funny.
And then
we're looking at the
yeah, I was just like, right out the gate, they're gonna be banning out Artanis, and this was something that you and I, we were like, oh, we didn't really prep a ton for these teams because we literally found out this morning. We're like, yeah, they want to do the grand final states. Like, all right, let's go. Like, we got this. And you mentioned we were going through some common picks, and Artanis was the one that came up. You were like, interesting that they pick it up a lot, and well, Bellevue College is not going to be able to play that on the left-hand side because Hodis on the right decided to take that off the table. Malthiel being taken away here as well. A phenomenal hero for some of those solo lane actions, as well as really great, backline burst with those last rights onto potential low-health picks. And then Genji being banned out as well. They don't want that high mobility, Cat Peach.
Yeah, taking out the mobility, making sure you don't necessarily have those fast rotations to possibly get picked off as you're kind of going across this map. Pick number 1, though, I'm really curious to see. I believe Bellevue has quite the preference for picking up Muradin as kind of that warrior pick. So I'm wondering if that's what they're going to focus here, or if there's something else they're going to end up picking. They're actually banning. I totally got ahead of myself. Here's the United States, though. What do they prioritize here? Do they maybe go for the support? They do very much playing that Decker Kane.
Do you
pick that up now?
It's strong on a map, like on a rotation-based heavy map like Infernal Shrines. Decker King gets phenomenal value with being able to drop potions in between the lane rotations, and we get Joanna. Joanna, though, not bad at all. She has really, really great grouping with her Condemn, being able to then also pull in heroes that are trying to retreat as well. The blinds are really, really great for any sort of dive potential. Cassie is actually a big pick I've seen on this map, as well as Battlefield of Eternity. She's popped up quite a bit, especially, you know, where you have to group up so much. Ball Lightning gets all that value for the team, so blinds are really, really strong at this point, but we are getting a first pick Mephisto?
Followed by Deckard. I mean, the first picking Mephisto is saying something. Because Mephisto is one of those very atypical heroes picked up, I believe. And I'm not sure. I believe they played Mephisto a little bit. They've played him in 3 games so far this entire season. At least during the regular season. And so definitely not unfamiliar, but definitely a really bizarre first pickup.
It's really one of those heroes that if you're winning, he's very much a win more hero. If you're winning, he does phenomenal. On the back line, he doesn't do so well, to be honest. So, not backline, maybe I said on the back foot, or kind of running away or not really winning out in any of these games, he really starts to struggle here. And so they end up taking out the Jaina for the side of here's the United States, and Jaina has great clear into the shrine. She's also got great burst onto a couple of those people. Mephisto, with a very low health pool, could suffer from that quite a bit. We'll see what they end up going into that here, but we still have bans, and Cat Peach, they could probably just ban out another tank at this point. I would really think that'd be the goal.
I would ban out the Meriden at this point, because I feel like that might be able to enable Mephisto going into the back line. They're going to take out Nubarak, who kind of serves a little bit of that same purpose, but a very interesting ban there. Pickups now for Bellevue. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a Thrall pickup here. This is one of those maps that Thrall can do really well in, and is, you know, a pretty common pick for Bellevue as well. So I wouldn't hate it.
I'm wondering if they just... I think it's, I think you'd go... Ooh, Arthas ETC. I wonder... So this is probably solo lane Arthas, and then once they get 10, they'll utilize the ETC in that solo lane role with the stage dive. Because... well, I mean, there aren't a ton of interrupts for Mosh Pit at this point. There's just, you know... You catch Joanna, that's realistically the only one. I mean, Malfurion can silence you. Cassia can pick up... I mean, she could pick up Valkyrie. Does that interrupt, or does it just pull the mosh pit towards you?
I would hope it doesn't pull the mosh pit towards
I kind of hope it actually pulls it towards you, because that way you can just have a dance party coming your way. But they end up rounding out their draft with the Blaze and the Kael'thas. Kael'thas having great shrine clear, and Blaze being really, really good in that solo lane. Going to be going into that Arthas probably. But this last pickup here, they're going to need more damage on the side of Bellevue College.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we see an additional range. We're going to see the Tychus. So being able to put out the damage onto Johanna and Blaze on that front line. The Kael'thas, I do really like that pickup, just because you know that Deckard and Arthas and ETC are going to be grouped pretty often. So that's easy spread potential there, but it also gives an opportunity for Cassia then, as they start to spread, to kind of pick a target and dive in. So I'm going to have to see how it plays out. The Arthas ETC, I feel like, can go either way, right? Both ETC and Arthas can be your offlane, or they can be your primary tank. So I'm curious to see which they end up picking here.
This is going to be a really interesting matchup, Cat Peach. What I really like about both of them is I think everything kind of has an answer and a play into each other. You know, Tychus is going to have really great sieging with the Commandeer Odin, but they've definitely got a lot of great poke to come around that with Cassie as well as Kael'thas to kind of poke that down, work its, you know, still play around that shrine while they have that Commandeer Odin going out. And I wonder if we're going to be getting the Durance of Hate, or if I can't think of the other one off the top of my head.
Consume Souls?
Thank you, Consume Souls. But Cat Peach, let's get into this. Game number 1 between these two teams. We've already loaded in here. I'm super excited about this. On the left-hand side, we are going to be having Bellevue College with Weeman on the Deckard Kane, Kai on the ETC, Kamamano, I think, yes. Is going to be on the Tychus. Manmo. Yeah, Kamamano. And Alex, the dude guy, on that Arthas, and Cantrom's on the Mephisto.
And in the red, we're going to have Heroes of the United States. We're going to see Blaze up on that Kael'thas, Waterboy TKD on the Blaze, Andrew on Cassia, Jub on Malfurion, and Watson bringing it up on the Johanna.
We get into this, and I'm already seeing people in chat saying, give me trait build Arthas with Syndragosa.
I was hoping for Syndragosa, because if we get an off-lane Arthas, like being able to throw out Syndragosa, if you already have the Punisher, one of those things that really can make a huge difference on Infernal Shrines.
I think the one thing that I actually really like about the Syndragosa too is you can siege with it so well if you have that Immortal pushing up as well. Being able to lock down the structures and not take any of that that damage, you can then fight and play in an area that you typically don't get to in a sieging aspect. So we'll see what they end up going into with Alex the Dude guy, because at the same time, Armor the Undead cap Peach is so strong. You can get so much value with that, being able to sustain through fights almost just in an asinine amount of health.
Ooh, early pick off onto Tychus. Secker Kane also getting really low. A really great pick for Heroes of the United States. I'm taking a look at talents, and I don't actually think I often see new habits picked up for Blaze unless I'm going a little crazy, but I'm not used to seeing
It's been popping up here and there, honestly.
Yeah,
a little bit. And I wonder if it's mostly because of the fact that you then have a cleanse on your D, and if you are going to be going to that Arthas, the potential for, getting locked down with the Howling Blast and then a rotation coming up from the enemy team to pick you off, maybe it's an answer to that kind of situation, or just to overall be, unstoppable and still be that tanky boy Blaze is. And not the player, Waterboy TDK.
Always so confusing for Hodis. Cassia, though, going in. The root is down onto ETC. The Gravity Well was there. Damage, though, going on to Command Mo. Tychus spraying a little bit of his own variation cover. But so far, both teams rotating. The early camp pickup pushing in mid for Heroes of the United States, giving them a bit of push in that lane while they start to focus on bottom. They're going to grab that siege camp as well before the shrine phase begins.
We just have this camp being pushed in into bottom. They've also got the camp in mid. I will say this, that here's the United States playing a nice aggressive game at the start of this best of 5 series here on Infernal Shrines. And this is also, I want to note this to anyone who might have missed it at the start of the game, or the start of the draft even, Infernal Shrines was the map pick for Bellevue College, giving over first pick to here's the United States. And with the camp rotations, the timing so far, this is looking very strong for Heroes of the United States, but we have to actually see how they fare in some of these fights as they dive onto the ETC. A lot of damage going out. That will be a couple members getting locked down by the Decker Kane, but no one being able to, no big follow-up damage for any sort of kills, as we do have the first shrine activating in this bottom lane. No bruiser camp for the top lane for either team just yet.
Yeah, it'd be really great to pick off that ETC if you're Heroes of the United States before these shrines start, and you can just see so much focus on that, given that he's not really the biggest health pool frontline warrior in the game. Pretty easy to take him out, especially with the tools that they have. We see Condemn going out. The power slide there coming out from Koi. Cassia is going to fall, and Waterboy is going to fall directly after. Watson on the retreat. Alex Dude guy took a lot of damage, but Decker Kane has CP Cups going to heal them up, and this is looking like shrine number 1 going over to Bellevue.
That's a really good start for the members of Bellevue College, and to take that fight and win it, I would say win it that aggressively was really, really good for them. They will be able to also rotate their Arthas up into top lane. They'll have Mephisto in mid, so they're continuing to soak this up. The other thing, though, to note, here's the United States. Even though they lost 2 in that engagement a little bit later in the game, they're really not too far behind in experience. They need to make sure that they continue to soak this up. But I love the play with Mephisto, and they're like, all right, the first Immortal's not the strongest thing on Earth. We'll siege into bottom with 3 lane. We'll have soak in mid. We'll have soak in top, and you can already see that experience is going to go over so quickly for the members of Bellevue. But at the same time, you can see that here's the United States. They didn't lose much on their gate like you typically see in an Immortal push at the start of the game. I mean, they lost half of a fort health and not even the gate to walk through.
7's now here for Bellevue. Here's the United States trying to catch up, like you were mentioning, and that little bit of an experience drop that they've witnessed. Watson finds a little bush party there. Mephisto trying to find some damage. The root doesn't connect, and the skirmish dissipates. Both teams not really finding too much there in that scenario, but Koi Koi still trying to find something, waiting for the right power slide to come in. Mephisto going in onto the background. Blaze taking a lot of damage, and there's the power slide, there's the bump, and there is a dead Kael'thas.
Kael'thas going down there is a nice pickup for the members of Bellevue College. Though I will say this is not our Hero League convection stacks Kael'thas, so they're not going to be losing out on any of those level 1 stacks, only sitting at 16 out of the 20 necessary for that Mana Shield. Blaze at 7 out of the 15 necessary. Arthas at 8 out of the 12, if I'm not mistaken. Tychus at 12 out of 20, and ETC at 13 out of the 20 necessary as well. And we are currently getting into this later, early mid-game here, and it's really starting to show that Bellevue College, they started a little slow, but they really have a lot of momentum starting out in this, as this game is progressing here. We will have the top shrine next, but I wonder if there's going to be any sort of camp rotations or any sort of camp pressure that's going to be starting across the map.
There's a small rotation coming from Bellevue down at the bottom, possibly thinking about catching the Cassia, but they're going to back up, focus on their siege camp. Watson, though, ends up facing right directly into ETC. Here's the United States starting to creep down in this lane. They put Living Bomb onto Koi. But for now, they're just kind of pushing that lane. The siege camp picked up is going to provide a lot of value for Bellevue if Heroes of the United States decides not to clean that up before that shrine, but they also may end up losing out on skeletal defenders, and not to mention they're a level behind. 10s are approaching for Bellevue, and so Heroes of the United States have to do a little bit of 4D math here to figure out what is the right move in this scenario.
Oh, they want to go in, though, and there's a lot of damage going on into Watson. The Iron Skin's already used here. They don't get the kill, and a nice disengage coming out from them, having to tap well. We are going to be still having this camp needing to be cleared out in mid. That Kael'thas does finish it out very easily, also finishing that level 1 Mana Addict on top of that. They will rotate over into bottom. I would love to see Bellevue College pick up this camp, and that's exactly what they're going to do. This is take this into your Hero League games. If you see a top shrine popping up and you have the ability to take this camp and then rotate into top, you're now creating bottom lane pressure that's going to put the members of Heroes of the United States on a timer, and they're going to need to respond to this at some point. That bottom lane's already been pressed up a little bit, and they'll finish out that lane on top of it. This is a really smart macro play coming out from Bellevue College. They do pick up the Bruiser camp on the right-hand side for Heroes of the United States, but that should get cleared out as they make this rotation into the top lane for this Frozen Punisher.
Yeah, it gives them a little bit of a wall to stand behind as they're trying to get their own level 10 before going into this shrine, but as you mentioned, it should be cleaned up pretty quickly on the side of Bellevue, who are already starting to collect those skeletal defenders and try to get this Frozen Punisher second in the game. So we'll have to see now that level 10s are here. Here's the United States trying to make their move. They're trying to focus on the ETC. The power slide is in. The mosh pit is going to land on 3, but Blaze using the bunker for a little bit of protection. The Odin was popped on the back line. Andrew, taking a lot of damage from Mephisto, is going to go down. Kael'thas going to follow as well. 2 for nothing here for Bellevue College. Now going to finish up this shrine and push in this top lane.
Meanwhile, bottom lane still has pressure. They got a lot of value for them too. It already took down the entire gate and 2 towers. The other thing on top of that, Kael'thas went into Pyro Bomb. Typically, we often see the Phoenix for that zoning potential, as well as just kind of having that area to fight in and have extra damage coming out. But these 10 talents, we also have the Valkyrie for Cassie on top of that to just kind of maybe get that solo target pick. But the Lornado in that last engagement was so strong, being able to force the members of HOTUS, splitting them up so well. But Punisher going to be going over the wall at this time. Watson will bait it with the Iron Skin, and they continue to press in here as ETC takes a bit of damage and needs to kind of cycle out.
Waterboard going down to finally respond to bottom before too much damage is done to that fort. This top fort being given up by Heroes of the United States, knowing that they can't necessarily chunk this Immortal fast enough to stop the push, so they're going to back up behind this gate, defend from a little bit of a distance. 13's also about to hit for their opponent, and so they have to play this very safe, not stepping too far out of that wall and giving them additional experience fodder to get there. The Lornado goes out, doesn't catch anyone, but Jub ends up being caught out by Mephisto anyway. That dive that Mephisto has just kind of entirely sidesteps Johanna, just being able to say, I'm gonna teleport around you, I've got a big ring that goes past you anyway, and it's showing really great value for Bellevue and being able to attack that backline.
I love it just in chat. Arthas took the wrong 10 talent, and I agree. He took Arm of the Undead, and It's so awful that he chose that sustain over just being able to siege in with a meme. But no, I would really kind of wish to see Sendragosa, but that is going to be top lane fairly well pushed in. No keep just yet, so no catapult pressure, but they do have that camp rotation at this time, and with the 13 advantage, they're really playing safe into these members on the side of Here's the United States. They kind of have to turtle up and just wait for the waves to come to them as they're about a level and a half behind.
Yeah, level 1.5, but they've only lost one structure so far, so things aren't going too terribly for them. They have given up 6 kills to their opponent, which kind of feels bad, and only being able to capitalize 1 for themselves. So here's the United States going forward. I wonder if they're going to be able to find those kills for their own to kind of come back in these team fights, because so far it looks like they go in and they try to get the ETC, but if he isn't killed off quickly, there's just so much on the side of Bellevue to come back around and punish that type of engagement.
I wonder if yeah, if they try and either punish it or this bush party. They're setting up for something, and it's, I mean, like it's like it's kind of like, ooh, even the danger pings came out. Like anytime I see danger pings and someone kind of gets caught out, Blessed Shield actually going to be coming out. Slide coming in from Waterboy. They get the single pick onto the ETC, and that's going to be the Valkyrie pulling in the Tychus, but they end up getting out just fine. The bunker will come down as well, but we also saw Jub getting so low, and they will be picked off as well by Mephisto. Andrew maybe the next one to go, and the old man gets the Haragic Cube. They step up with the Tychus. The Howling Blast comes out as well, and Watson, I think, is not long for this world. On top of it, 3-for-1 trade, and woof, that's a bit of a loss, as they have a top lane pressure going in, and they're also going to be having the bottom lane losing the fort. That should push them really close to the 16 talent tier.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that 3 of Heroes of the United States went down, but I do have to shout out Waterboy for the bunker play, throwing that out to save Cassia from the Consumed Souls, at least for a little bit. And you saw how long she stayed in there because of the focus on taking out Jub that happened right afterwards. So she didn't have a heal, so she was just hanging out in bunker, kind of waiting for the inevitable to happen. But that was a really good attempt at a play. They were able to pick off the ETC like we were talking about, but there's just so much and so much coordination coming out from Bellevue to simply turn things around and get picks of their own even when they're down a member.
That's the hardest part, is not only being down a member, but also being down almost 3 levels in an entire talent tier. That's really the hard part. Oh, the Valkyrie coming out onto Mephisto, but it's not actually going to be pulling them in. There's a huge mosh pit that goes out. Malfurion is going to be the first one to fall here. Bunker come down as well. Andrew going to be having to jump in there, but they are so low in the situation. Blaze on that kill pass in the backline at this time is going to be getting bodied by Alex the Dude Guy. Waterboy TDK is the next one, I think, to go, and that is actually 4 members going down during that entire fight. Watson makes it out alive, but they have bottom lane pressure still going in. They have a Mortal that's going to be picked up in just a few seconds here, and that will be going into mid lane, which is their best defended lane. But Koi and Alex, the Dude Guy, pick up this Bruiser Camp for top lane pressure. And the onslaught of just macro pressure as well as the team fight pressure coming out from Bellevue College this game, Cat Peach, is so strong.
Yeah, there was a period of time where the ship of Heroes of the United States was still in this running, but that ship is slowly kind of drifting away. We're looking at a really significant experience loss for them at this point in time, and like you were mentioning, the pressure that's been happening in the top and bottom lanes is forcing Blaze to have to respond and not help defend with this Punisher. And even though this mid lane is pretty well defended, at this point, this fort is absolutely going to fall, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Bellevue, with the state that they're in, being able to just try to absolutely convert the keep in their favor with their talent advantage here. So Blaze helping out Blaze there, helping the top clear that out a bit faster to get him down here for this defense.
They do. They take out the sidewall right away. I like this play, and you know, Bellevue College, if we had a Sendragosa, this would be so much easier.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Punisher doing a lot of work. Ends up going in onto Watson. Iron Skin pops. Odin's popped as well on the backline. This keep is falling pretty steadily behind it. I'm not sure. There's the Punisher finally redrawing its attention to that structure. Baited for a little bit while. The keep is going to fall, and Blaze popping the bunker pretty early. Watson going to fall here. Johanna no longer available in this fight. The Punisher's finally down, but Bellevue trying to see if they can pick off one of these low members of HOTUS. That was a great zone. That was a great zone by ETC onto the Gale's for sure. Ooh, Andrew getting the pick though onto Deckard Kane.
Red team's core is under attack.
So for now, we do have continuation of pressure being built up from Bellevue. They decided not to necessarily push for keep. They were able to get a couple picks there, but nothing game ending for the moment. So they go get the camp steal, which is great, going to focus on those bottom and lower level camps to again build up that pressure that's been around this entire game for them.
It's a sad day when you don't realize that your digital mixer decided to crash in the middle of the stream on you, and your co-caster is just like, yeah, hi, I didn't realize it because I was
wondering where you went.
the way that you were like responding to some of the things, I'm just like, wait, I just said, oh yeah, my mic audio is not going through. So thank you, voice meter, for crashing midway through there, but I am back. We are gonna have the Blaze dropping the bunker as well. There's currently gonna be chasing this quite a bit. Turn around, jump, gonna be the next target. They have the Consume Souls. It goes out and gets one of the kills. They follow up the next to the Commandeer Odin, and they chase Watson as well. And Catpeach with the pressure, with 4 kills potentially. They want to make it 5 as they're chasing Blaze, but it's not gonna be happening. They could just move in and go for core. The death timers are really long here.
Yeah, they're going in. Arthas already taking some of those shots. Army of the Dead being used to help with that survivability as well. And we see Blaze just hanging out in the Nexus. Watson trying to go in, but the shield is falling here. The root going out onto Johanna, trying her best. Lornado, though, trying to catch a pick for Bellevue. It's not to be there. The core is at 50%, and this is looking like game number 1 going over to Bellevue College. We see Blaze with the last-ditch effort. Pyroblast coming out as well. But no kills to be had. Game 1, Bellevue in a 4-level lead against their opponent, Baja.
Oof. Oof, oof, oof. This game was so good as I potatoed and forgot to add the actual game capture. There we go. We can actually show the talents properly. I was just like, I'm forgetting something in my setup today. No, we got everything here. Oh man, it is just a struggle bus on my end. But no, we are all set here. And actually, I got a message right away. Okay, so they said that they want first pick. So let me get a message out to them. What map?
First pick for Here's the United States.
Here's the United States would like first pick. So I'm going to find out what they would like on the side of Bellevue College. Let me also update the score so everyone knows at home what the actual score is here. Team score left side. But Catpeach, that was only game 1 in a best of 5 series.
Yeah, and Bellevue looking really good. And I'm trying to think about what they might want to pick up for game number 2. Maybe something like Tomb of the Spider Queen. They seemed really great at being able to just constantly have that kind of macro pressure that then just enhance the push mechanic of the objective. And so on Tomb of the Spider Queen, it's a lot of the same. Volskaya Foundry was banned out, and that's another one of their preferred maps. So unfortunately not seeing that. Towers of Doom, though, also on the table. They are 5-0 there. That's a tricky one to try to come back from. So they have a few options, I think, that they're comfortable on. And given how they're playing today, I think they all are going to lend themselves to really enhance the way that they want to play this set.
He literally told me Towers of Doom, and I was sitting there setting it up, and then I just and the funny thing is I started selecting Tomb of the Spider Queen. Because you were just talking about it, I was like, yeah, Tomb of the Spider Queen, here we go. But
Too close.
Too close. Let me quickly show talents for everyone at home so they can take a peek at those. But we currently have our map and everything. We're going to get that set up in just a moment. Just want to make sure that everyone gets to see everything they can in this best of 5 grand finals. We want to make sure we show you everything as I show. No match history at this time. Very, very high quality North America production. But let's swap it back over to our beautiful selves. And we are going to get ourselves set up for our next game here. And we are going to be going to Towers of Doom. So once I get that going, we can show you some of the map choices that were chosen earlier if you might have missed it during our first set, and I just made Kage the host by accident. I am so sorry. Thank you.
Give it back.
I am apparently struggling right now.
You got this. We gave you. We need spirit bombs for Bahamut, ladies and gentlemen in chat. We know you want to cheer for the teams, but if you can lend a little energy to him as well,
please.
Would be really good. So I'm really excited about Tune the Spider Queen.
Yes.
And a lot of folks are in chat are saying too, here's the United States. Earlier on in the game, they really weren't so terribly behind. And so I feel like maybe in game number 2, after kind of feeling out how Bellevue is going to be playing here, since they're an opponent they haven't gotten to play against all season. It's interesting with the kind of coastal setup is that during the regular season, you get to play at least once, more than likely, against someone that you're playing off against in the playoffs. But for grand finals, this is first time around, and so all you can do is kind of watch your own replays, watch theirs, and try to figure things out. But it might be difficult to find a team that really compares. So here's the United States coming in blind like that, or not necessarily blind, but in that scenario, I think they held up really well. And I think in game number 2, if they can find a response to a lot of those crowd control picks that we saw on the side of Bellevue, I think they can turn this around and bring this to 1-1.
That's the big, I think that is the big play here is can they turn it around and bring it to a 1-1? And if they can't, and Bellevue takes the second game, which apparently all of them have bladders the size of like a peanut, because they all I was just like, hey, we're gonna have a longer break in between game 2 and game 3. So after game 2, that's your best time to go to the bathroom and get water. And it just got a message just like, half my team's in the bathroom. It's like, all right, cool, well, we'll buy time for you. No big deal. I'm just gonna publicly shame you on stream. So that's what you get. But while we actually have this moment, let's go ahead and we'll show what the maps were so far. The coin flip was won by Bellevue College. They went for map choice, so they banned out Braxis Holdout. Volskaya Foundry was banned out by the members of Here's the United States. Infernal Shrines was the first map choice by the members of Bellevue College and won by them. And for game number 2, Here's the United States, they want first pick, so that gives map choice over to Bellevue College, who are taking us to Towers of Doom, which Cat Peach, you and I both love this map. I think it's so much fun to cast, and it's an absolute blast of a time because there's no rushing the core. There's no just sitting and just, taking out an entire lane and then just winning through that lane. Well, kind of sort of bottom, but you're still on a timer.
Yeah, I mean, it's objectives all the way down on that one. So you're doing objectives, you're not doing anything else unless you're just trying to kill off your enemy team, and it just allows for so much room for comebacks. And so I feel like up against an opponent like Bellevue, here's in the United States, I feel like they could have a decent chance, even in scenarios where they might fall a bit in the mid game. They can always come back around, and so they just need to make sure they draft heroes that really can match into the fighting style of Bellevue, and maybe have a couple responses to something like that Mephisto or that ETC that we saw from Bellevue in game number 1.
The question here is, do they then just go into, do they play it like on a control comp? Do they play it a little bit slower? Do they go into more of a macro play and then try and just play around the map and maybe avoid some of these team fights? Because we saw Bellevue College has phenomenal team fights.
Yeah, you only get so far on macro. Like at some point you gotta fight them, and you can avoid it for every moment outside of the objective period, but as soon as that hits, you're gonna have to do something, especially when you have especially kind of later in the game, those single altar phases. So you can't necessarily entirely get around it. And we also saw the macro just being so strong for Bellevue that I think best case scenario, HOTUS can match in macro, but they can't win out simply by out macroing their opponent in that scenario.
True. It's one of those things, like, I feel like you could potentially, you could play around them, but either way, Bellevue is going to bring a team fight to your face, and I wonder if this is where we see that our Tannis ban really slide through, or if it's that highly prioritized that they have to take it out. But I kept peeking over at chat, so a lot were saying, Decker Kane definitely banned out after that last game, and Mephisto being banned out after that last game. But to be honest, I don't think that was it wasn't like that hero that won the game. It was just really, really good coordination that came out from Bellevue College, and they were shaky at the start, but I honestly think that was just their composition. They will ban out the Mephisto. They don't want to deal with that level of dive and aggression from a hero like that. And on Towers of Doom, dive and aggression works really, really well, especially on a, point control-ish type map.
Mm-hmm. Malthael still coming out as a ban for Bellevue. Mephisto did have a lot of success in taking out the Malfurion quite a few times during that last match. So I'm wondering if that's a tell that they're going to have something like the Malfurion again. Someone as equally in not mobile like a Decker Kane as well. Like it kind of gives a little bit there that they're trying to protect Jub on that support, just given the vulnerability in that scenario.
I'm wondering if we see like an Alexstrasza, or if we see something that's a little bit more defensive and stronger on these engagements that they're going to have to endure, in a sense, on the side of Here's the United States. And I kind of hate putting it that way, but realistically, the onslaught that came out from Bellevue, it sounds so one-sided, but just looking at what we saw in that last game, you know, you might need to play a little bit of that slower kind of passive, but they pick up the Decker Kane, gonna allow them to have some slows with the Haragic Cube. With that Sapphire, Emerald will take out some healing. This could totally just be an Abathur's support map, and that healing, you know, that Sapphire, excuse me, the Emerald isn't really gonna get as much value, but we'll see as this draft does need to unfold here before us.
I was going to note that the Artanis made it through the draft, so I wonder if that's going to be pulled out for Bellevue. The Johanna and Greymane, though, being picked up here. Johanna taking that away from Here's the United States, not allowing her and Decker to be together forever, BFFs for life.
And just really quickly, I was reading over in Caster Chat as well. Just so everyone at home knows, there is no Mal'Ganis allowed for the rest of Season 6 of the Nexus Gaming series. So we will not be seeing that beautiful, beautiful Squidward-faced boy. But Tyrael and Phoenix are going to be rounding out the composition for them on the side of Here's the United States for now. Great zone potential with the Tyrael. Sacred Ground is a great talent for anytime you're... when you have boss control, as well as even over the sapper camps too. It's really, really good just to kind of box them out. Diablo, though, still being banned. I mean, I can see it. There's still great setup with it. Phoenix pairs well with the Lightning Breath on top of that. Not a bad idea, but they do need to ban out something here on the support side, and I still lean to that Alexstrasza quite a bit. Maybe even Whitemane.
Yeah, I'm not sure outside of Deckard who really the preferred support is. The Whitemane is going to be banned as well. I'm trying to think of who that secondary warrior will be for Here's the United States, unless they do something really wacky that we haven't seen in a while and pick up an Abathur with the Tyrael there.
I like their composition, though. I wonder if they lean more into the Phoenix Purification Salvo with something like a Thrall. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then they maybe just pick up in response to something like this, maybe even a Dahaka. It wouldn't be a bad idea to match that Brightwing, to have that global, and being able to make that split soak, to have... Dahaka gets really, really good value on this map, and I think the flank potential onto Chromie could be a really good lockdown and harassment. But they actually go for Falstead instead, so they still go for that global. On the damage side, they'll have the Mighty Gust, and then they'll also have the Anubrak for the Cocoon to then lock down maybe Joanna or even lock down Brightwing so that there's no Team Cleanse, there's no Emerald Wind. I really like both these drafts so much, Cat Peach, because there's really good boss control, there's really good point control, and the Thrall is actually going to be picked up by Bellevue College, not by Here's the United States. But, Cat, after... Game one aside, teams aside, names aside, drafts only, who do you give this over to on Towers of Doom?
I think pre-level 10, it's Bellevue all the way.
Okay.
Post-level 10, I'm hoping, very much so, that Tyrael does not go Judgment and that we see Sanctification come out, because I think it's going to be a really great response. It's a great opportunity to correct what we were talking about after the first game, which is have a response to a lot of the crowd control. And there still is a lot to mess up the team fights for Here's the United States on the side of Bellevue. And so being able to have that kind of reset things for a little bit, be able to go into a team fight and know you're invulnerable for a little bit, you can just kind of go in and not worry about that kind of thing, might be really strong. But the matchup with Anubrak makes me worry a little bit that I might be a Judgment.
Dive heavy, yeah. I you know, no, you make a good point. I'm curious. And the other thing too is I was thinking here, I was like, what's the cooldown on Sanctification? Does it, because they don't have anything to deal with temporal loop from Chromie. So that's where I think 10 is going to be a big deciding factor for this game. But we are in this game number 2 between Bellevue College and Here's the United States in a best-of-5 series in this grand finals. We have Guillemon on the Bright Wing. We're going to have Alex Dude Guy going to be on the Joanna. We are going to be having Koi on the Thrall. We'll have Camtrom's going to be on the Greymane, and Kamamo is going to be on the Chromie. My brain.
And over in the red, we have Heroes of the United States. We're going to see Blaze on the Phoenix this game. Andrew will be playing the Anubarak. Jub supporting on that Decker. Kane Watson will be playing Tyrael. Waterboy TKD on the Falstead.
We get into this. Level 1s for these two teams. We actually have a bit of a change on what Phoenix typically takes. We don't have that Arsenal synergies. Blaze needs to blink out, but the team has stepped up to try and help them out and make sure that they are safe. They will be able to rotate out. So no early picks onto either team just yet. The last game I did would see that Falstead, or excuse me, the Tychus being picked out. The one thing I want to note here is that Falstead ended up going into the auto attack build. So going to be having the season marksman stacks. So look to see them try and pick up as much damage onto these minion waves, and I'm curious to see if maybe they start to rotate between maybe even mid as well, just to kind of soak that up and really make sure that they build up those stacks for that damage. But overall, Sandblast straight from Chromie, looking to get those consecutive blasts and really stack them up. Are you sitting at 10 out of the 60 stacks necessary?
Yeah, that's real scary if Chromie
50,
does. Yeah, it's 15. If she can hit him, it's going to be bad news for Here's the United States. But if they can kind of juke those Sandblasts a little bit, especially with a bit more of the read that you can get on Chromie these days, I'm wondering if they're able to avoid it altogether, but we'll have to see. Possible invade.
I was waiting for the invade. Alex Dude Guy is going to be rotating around here, going to get the condemn onto 2. They do know that they're here, and they're not burning down this camp very quickly. Blaze and Jub not going to be having the quickest burn, as the old man can't do a ton of hitting things with just a stick. And they know that Jub's over there, and they are, throwing those potions over the wall, but oof, this is getting a little shaky. They are starting to step up on this. No point picked up just yet. Andrew dives in as well. Falstead barrel rolls over the wall, and they're going on to Camtrom's, and it seems to be working out, but Andrew's the first one to go down. Anubarak falls first, and Bellevue College takes the first pick of the game, but they don't end up stealing out the sappers as Waterboy rotates into top to make sure that Koi doesn't get a ton of value.
Koi just not having a care in the world, saying, I'm Thrall, I'm going to push and get my Echo of the Elements quest completed as soon as possible, so while your team fighting down there, I'm just going to push that out. So we have a 1-level lead almost already for Bellevue, which it happened a bit sooner this game than it did in game number 1. But we're going to have the altars spawning in a couple seconds here. Triple coming out for the first rotation. So this is the opportunity for Heroes of the United States, even though they're behind in experience, to maybe get ahead on core damage if they can secure 2 of these. We'll have to see if that's possible.
I'm curious, though. I looked over at Twitch chat, and Judge plus Hinterland's Blast plus Planet Cracker, but doesn't Judgment actually have a knockback onto things around you? So wouldn't it actually be a little anti-synergistic with some of the other talents? But either way, sorry. They trade the top right and the top left. There is going to be the skirmish over the bottom. Andrew in that back line trying to harass Chromie, but gets bodied by the Greymane. Falsa did fly down, but I think Cat Peach, are they going to get another kill? No, they don't.
Alex Sugai getting low. Watson trying to go in. The scroll going to come out from Deckard, but Waterboy taking a lot of damage. Flies a bit behind, but Koi ends up getting low. Thrall's going to fall. Alex Sugai trying to channel there. Chromie trying to find a target. Not finding it just yet. Health bars are really equal here, and I'm really nervous for both these teams. Watson getting really low in between 3 members, ends up using Eldurin to back off just a bit and has the shield, but Falstead on the other side of the equation. Going to go down.
Blaze is a little bit low. Watson getting chased by Alex Dude Guy, and they have the escape off of this, no problem. I want to note also, Tyrael still hasn't taken their level 4 talents. Level 6 Andrew, though, in a bad spot. Gonna get picked off there, and this looks like it should be these. This is the 3rd altar in the first triple altar phase, and they've still been, going back and forth. We usually see this go a lot quicker, but the poke that's coming out so far, oh my god, the interrupt is so annoying from Jub, but I think they should be able to get this here. Still, Tyrael not picking up their level 4, and Deckard literally didn't pick up that level 4 talent till like almost that fight was done. And so I wonder if there's, I wonder why. holding talents like that is weird to me, and is it in response to Chromie. Maybe they were waiting for Chromie's level 7 because she does get it early. No, she already had it. Either way, it's throwing me off a little bit.
Especially with Tyrael, where I feel like at this point there's not too much variation in the type of build you go, especially at level 4. I feel like Bound by Law is the consistent. You might go one of the shield helms there, but I don't think in this scenario that would have been the best call. So we haven't picked up now, so at least we could get started. Level 7's finally hitting as well.
It's even. And gonna hold that talent once again. Gonna have some poke with the Impale onto a couple of these members. They do dive in with Watson as well. Continue to go in with Andrew on top of that, but no one falling. No big burst of damage to follow up just yet. They still need to walk these sappers in through bottom lane. The other thing to note too is the next altar phase will be a double altar phase in the top left and top right. And I mean, Falstad being the global being up in that lane is a little bit of a... It's gonna be not the best for them. A nice big cleanse coming out from the Brightwing onto the friendly team to make sure that they don't get locked down by Decker Kane and Blaze doesn't get the value on that Phoenix. And they make this, they back out of here, and the altar phase starts up in the next 25 seconds. And Cat Peach, I'm ready for another fight, and we also have Temporal Loop for the Chromie. There's no big cleanse at this point. And I'm wondering how they're going to respond to this on the side of here's the United States, but Cat Peach, we got a fight breaking out.
Yeah, Andrew going in, trying to get Command Mo as dead as possible, but gets the shields from Brightwing for the time being. Alex Sugai going in with the Condemn, catching a few members of Here's the United States who are slowed. Waterboy and Koi going at it in that top shrine. Watson getting put in a bit of a awkward position, but Chromie going to fall. Tyrael gets traded out, going to use the trait to do a bit of damage onto Catrons in the backside. But we still have fights going on over these altars. No one able to grab one yet. Waterboy just poking out at Thrall for now.
They went for Boomerang, right? Not Secret Weapon? Yeah, okay. I think Secret Weapon has a yellow background, but it's still a hammer. Either way, a Waterboy will be picking up the right-hand side, and they zone. I think they're going to have the gentleman's agreement and just trade these out. They don't go for the left. Koi going to be just... Koi almost getting that right-hand side would have been big for them, but Cat Peach, we are in that deciding range of what we discussed before this game started. That 10 is here, at least for the members of Bellevue College. They have a level that they need to pick up on the side of Here's the United States. We aren't really seeing anything too out of the ordinary at this point, though. It's, Sundering, we're going to go for the throw, Blessed Shield, Temporal Loop, that's already been picked up, but Brightwing's still holding. And I think that's Blink Heal, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is. And when there's so much in those heroics, especially with, you have Blessed Shield, you have Sundering, that could potentially disrupt that Tyrael ult that we were talking about, or disrupt, if we end up seeing a Hinterland's Blast on Falstad, interrupt that as well. And so that's a lot of risk. Also being able to interrupt a Purification Salvo.
Yeah,
with
that's
either
really
of those.
true.
So that's really puts Here's the United States in a... They have the time to think about it. Now that they have level 10s themselves, they've had about a level to think this through. There's the Hinterland's Blast.
It's there. We're waiting on 2 talents. Is the Mongoose stream real? All right, we actually have a fight, though, on Andrew at this point. The Cocoon does come out onto one. That is going to be the Planet Cracker and the Judgment, though, so we'll see if they go for it. That is going to be the Planet Cracker and the Hinterland's Blast. They don't align perfectly, but they still pick up the Brightwing kill, Cat Peach. And even if they're getting single target blowups, that's huge.
They crossed the streams there, pretty much, to make it happen. It's a lot to use that many heroics, though, for a single pickoff.
True.
Is my concern. And so you've spent...
Waterboy. All 6
falling.
sappers. All 6 go into that tower, and there's an altar phase popping up too, Cat Peach.
Oh, this is not looking good for Hodis and Thrall up in the top, doing a lot of damage.
If they wait, they could convert this. Oh no, that's too long.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have the time to. We're gonna see the channel start from Command Mo, getting it in sooner rather than later. But yeah, it's a bit of a difficult scenario for Here's the United States. Yet again, they're going to be down that 13 talent in a little bit. They're trying to get the pickoff onto Koi, not able to successfully do so.
No picks just yet. Top lane is not left in shambles, but it is real low. Bottom lane seems to be the apple of their eye on the side of Here's the United States. We are going to be having a mid lane pressure. This will allow them, opening this up still gives you the nice experience for the gate and everything, but actually Falstad flying in. They don't have the Hinterland's Blast for the next 40 seconds, and they don't have Planet Cracker for the next 18. But the Judgment is up, and while while I enjoy the meme from it, I really kind of wish they went for Gust, Purification Salvo, and Sanctification. It's cool and everything. It's great to cast it, but Gust is such a huge tool for Falstead, especially with Bellevue taking such aggressive, divey fights. You can say, all right, cool, no. We put a pause in this fight. We're going to back this thing up, back it up like a dump truck. But they convert over the mid lane for themselves on the side of Bellevue College, and they pick up top lane as well, Cat Peach. This is looking really, really in favor for them, and they go for boss.
Yeah, they're going for boss, and had that, again, the Wind Gust been there, maybe that's a boss that you can defend, but in this scenario, not even close, as Heroes of the United States are just trying to catch up simply on map control. They're so far behind. They're down 2 of their towers here, so they're just trying to grip onto whatever it is that they can find to kind of keep their heads above water here.
Chat is just the dream. It's happening. We are going to be having a double altar phase popping up at this point. Greymane going to be going and grabbing the bottom area. There's going to be the Judgment coming in. Hinterland's Blast as well as the Planet Cracker. Koi, though, is living through so much of this. They finally go down. That is going to be the web wrap onto the Joanna. The Lornado is zoning as well, and they go for Brightwing. It doesn't work out. Greymane picked up the bottom, works their way into here, and they have a temporal loop to get onto Falstead. And Cat Peach, Jub's trying, but I don't think they're going to be able to do this.
Yeah, we got 1-1 in kills here. Man, got a 2-2 for both of these teams. Alex the Dew guy trying to go in onto Blaze. Phoenix just going to melt, trying to get off the teleport. Jub gets hit with the Condemned. Decker Kane falling. Get a life alert. Old man is down, and we have Zappers going into that bottom bell tower. We're seeing the Zappers grab as well, trying to get the conversion here before the channel starts, given that there's a bit more time to do so this time around. And Bellevue College just kind of cleaning up shop here on Towers of Doom.
Oh my god, Cappy, just get the old man a life alert. That's so good. They get 6 shots into the core of Heroes of the United States, and we talk about this all the time, how it's Towers of Doom. It doesn't just end. Oh, they don't get the interrupt. That's 3 sappers over as well. Oh my god, this is going... They might get a barrage. No, it won't happen. I think they'll convert these almost at the exact same moment. Yeah, they'll get top as mid falls. They won't get the barrage, so they won't get any of those shots, and they won't put them in that kind of checkmate position. But it's still 6-2 with core shots, and they have the temple opening up, or the tunnel opening up, and it's a triple altar phase coming up, Cat Beach. This late game is getting real hard for Heroes of the United States.
Yeah, and you know, we've seen the comebacks. There's the Judgment, there's the Hinterlands, there's the Planet Cracker, but the Stasis coming out from Brightwing saves her. She's gonna fall at the backside though after Falstead gets the final hit there. Thrall going to take out Falstead in response. Otis, however, just melting. Tyrael gonna fall as well. Phoenix is the last Protoss standing here for the team, as Bellevue College starts to make the rotation up, and I think there might be time for a barrage here, like you were talking about. If
they rotate to top, with the death timers are still really low. That's a big factor in this as well, and so we're looking at about 10 seconds average throughout everyone. Blaze being forced back by that Greymane to make sure that they aren't going to be pressing up and getting this conversion, so they can get that barrage. And this is the hardest checkmate position I think I've ever seen a team being put in. Chromie currently just camping in bottom. Just sitting in bottom, just like, all right, step up. I'll just drop sand on you. They back off though at this point, and they're just like, you know what? We don't need to do this. It's 17-15. They can just all go and sit on one altar, and if they get that one altar, it's GG.
Yeah, and Chromie looks fairly uncontested on bottom. Tyrael making the rotation. Here's the United States going to be split. The Tragic Huge stalling on the left for the time being. Andrew is really low, but gets the cocoon onto Johanna. Tyrael keeping Chromie occupied. Nubarak going in. The Sundering, though, is there. Nubarak going to fall. Catron trying to stay alive. Blaze getting chased in the back by Koi. And Raymond going ham on Heroes of the United States. Alex Dugai starting the channel, and I think that's Game Bahamut.
I agree with 4 dead and only Tyrael in bottom. That is going to be the last core shots going over into the core of Heroes of the United States. That's game 2, and Bellevue College puts themselves in a series-winning position. I honestly didn't expect it to go this way at all, Cat Peach.
Yeah, that was very straight up Bellevue saying, we got this. No worries whatsoever. They looked so incredibly strong. Being able to pull out the bright wing, which since the rework, various teams has had varying levels of success. And so,
Absolutely.
I mean, that blink to save her from the Planet Cracker was some A+.
It was so good.
Movement there from Wenamon. So making it work.
All right, well, I got a message out to Blaze, and we'll see what they want here in just a second. But I'm looking at I'm looking at these 10 talents again, and I love the idea. I love the idea, but it's the one thing that I think really kind of hindered this is the cooldown reduction on Hinterland's Blast. If you miss, that's 120 seconds. The first Hinterland's Blast missed completely, and it was full timer. That's 2 minutes of no big combo, and in 2 minutes you saw Bellevue get so much value. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of having to use 3 heroics for potentially only getting 1 kill in a team fight. Like, that's a lot of heroics dedicated to a single target. And when you're thinking about resource management, even, if the cooldowns on those are shorter all around, like, maybe it's a bit more viable, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Heroes of the United States are having a bit of fun, but I wouldn't say the most resourceful variation on their side of the equation.
Sorry, I am currently trying to remember how to... Oh, butts. I'm screwing up all of the things. Okay, hold on. Wait, number 3 is in the bottom center, but it's taking me to number 4. Oh, no. How do I...
Bottom? No, 3 is on the right center.
Oh, right. Okay.
I got you.
Right center. There we go. All right, cool. I got all the stuff figured out. But at this time, the one thing that we can show you all is the Division B West champions. All stars for the Division B West. There you are. Check your names out. See if you're on there. I am currently getting ourselves set up for our lobby because I do know what map and everything we're going to be going into. But at least we can have you guys check that out and see, who made it on the West Coast.
I have no idea, and I will have to wait 2 minutes to find out as well. But I really hope
that's
the
true.
folks on
Yeah,
that list
you
are very proud.
It'd probably be helpful if I actually sent my co-caster the thing that we're looking at. I've got both of them on my desktop here. I will send those over to you right now.
Alright,
there we go. Sorry, I was like, yeah, she can see. Oh no, I need to actually send it to her.
And we're looking at East, yeah.
We are looking at
Or
West currently.
Looking at West. So from Bellevue themselves, Blank.
Yeah, making a lot of these numbers.
With Catroms as well, with Commandmo. And Alex Dude Guy.
There's Blaze. Okay, sorry. I am currently getting everyone invited. We did that. Set to referee. They will get themselves in here in just a second. But congratulations to everyone in the Division B West for making the All-Stars roster. But, Capiche, that's not it. I mean, we got to go all the way over to the East Coast and check out who is over there, because these names, at least to us, I'm sure, are a lot more familiar, especially in this later half as we were having a lot of the blue team, some Reborn Knights, some Heroes of the United States, and a little Ghillie Shark as well.
Yeah, just a smidge of that Stark Magic coming in as well. And then, yeah, blue team just kind of painting this All-Stars as blue as possible. And Pokecheck coming in from Reborn Knights as well on that Warrior. A lot of familiar names actually here as well. Snag getting in, DB Smiley, all good friends. So congratulations to everyone making it to All-Stars this season. It's a cool thing that NGS does, I think, to compile those lists.
Oh, absolutely. So. It's awesome, and I don't know if they're doing it this season. I don't know if they're going to do anything with it, but in the past we had seen them put together, an event around the All-Star players and kind of mixing them up, I think, into teams and kind of having them all go back to back. And I think actually Zunicorn was one of the first ones, or maybe that might have been like the Coliseum or something, where he was the winner of that, and then he renamed himself in another Discord. He named himself Player because they accidentally, they did his card, and instead of calling him Zunicorn, I think they just put Player. So he ran around. He's just like, I'm Player. So, but we'll pull away all those stats. We'll bring it back to our lovely faces, and we have everyone here set up in the lobby. I did not update team score, which I'm going to do exactly at this moment because I just realized it. But Catpeach, this could be it. This could be the end of these grand finals, or we could be having the reverse sweep start.
Yeah, I mean, here's the United States. They've got to just play at 150% going on from this point forward if they want to stay in or potentially take this one away from Bellevue College. But the way that their opponents have been performing, Bellevue probably feeling like they might have this one in the bag, sitting pretty at a nice 2-0 so far in this best of 5. And Cursed Hollow being picked up by which team?
It's actually going to be Bellevue College because the members of Here's the United States wanted first pick. Sorry,
okay, cool.
I was like writing it down and I was like, oh wait, I don't think we showed the bands. So while we actually have that moment here, if you missed it, we got ourselves loading into a game in just a second. But let's at least show these bands to anyone who might have missed it at this time, or maybe came into this series a little bit late. We are going into game number 3 that is going to be on Cursed Hollow, but let's backtrack a bit. The coin flip was won by Bellevue College. They banned out, or they got map choice, so they banned out Braxis Holdout, while Sky Foundry was banned out by the members of Here's the United States, and first map was Infernal Shrines, won by Here's the United States. Second map was Towers of Doom, won by Bellevue College, both of them, and then game number 3 is chosen by Bellevue College, and that is Cursed Hollow. Sorry if I spoke that backwards, but let's pull it over. We are in a draft, and no bans just yet, Catpeach, but banning Mephisto didn't seem to fix the issues, but they're going to continue to do it.
Gonna continue to do it. Cursed Hollow, very big map. We might see the Brightwing come back around. We might see a Dahaka band out in this as well, but this first band sticking around. The Malthael still not making an appearance here in the series.
Malthael not allowed to come play with his undead brethren. I think we actually get a lot of Diablo because Bellevue College has banned out Diablo on top of this as well as the Malthael. So not a whole lot of love for the Diablo franchise as Decker Kane is going to be taken off the table. And that didn't seem to be what helped the members of Heroes of the United States. What do you, Catpeach, like, what do you do? I was watching that last game and I was trying to think to myself, like, how do I change our play or my team's play, or how do I adjust or respond to this in game number 3? Because you lose 2 games in a row in a tournament setting, in a best of 5, it really takes a toll on you mentally. Because here's the Storm, it's a mental game, and we have a first pick Abathur. Let's get it.
I like the statement that makes from Here's the United States. They're going to pick up the Abathur, they're going to lose out early, and see if they can maybe turn things around in the late game once those heroics come online. The Johanna pickup for Bellevue. And the Genji that we saw let through this time around getting picked up. Great poke on the tributes, as well as obviously some really great dive potential.
I wonder if they actually go into Shimada Bros. Because
Shimada
Hanzo
Bros.
has great boss clear and camp clear and poke.
I'm here for Shimadas.
I think if they picked up the Hanzo, that'd be great for them, but they need a tank and some damage before we go into this ban phase. And Ethereal once again.
And the Chen!
What? Call your brother, call your sister, call whoever, tell your dog, hey, Dana, there's a Chen game.
Someone ping
Yes.
Zexerus right now.
Somebody tells Zexerus that there is a Chen being casted. Somebody in Bush League or who has friended him on this game, do it. Please. I think he will lose his mind. But, Catpeach, I like this start. And a Karazim being banned out, it's a really great copy for Abathur. You can then have the damage increase, and if Karazim can punch faster, he can heal or do things faster. Oh, I'm liking these drafts so far, but realistically, the members of Here's the United States should either ban out a support, or I really say you ban out that Hanzo if they don't plan to take it themselves. Oh, even Li Ming would be great too, with double reset composition.
I was wondering at all if maybe Li Ming would make an appearance, so they're going to get rid of the Divine Shield onto the Genji combo. I was wondering when you were talking about what can Heroes of the United States do to maybe turn this around, and I think if there's a way for them to get reliable damage from more of a distance than what they've been drafting so far, because even the Kael'thas has some Shore and Phoenix as well, and that Falstaff, but maybe if you pull out the Li Ming, maybe if you have the chance to pull out the Jaina and get a bit more bursty in your damage and try to approach it that way, you might have some success. But the Tychus and Brightwing again coming out for Bellevue.
I love the Brightwing in the last game from Bellevue College, and I think you said it perfectly. We've seen teams run it since the rework. What is this draft? This is supportless. This is supportless, right? Yeah. It's a Twin Blades variant, probably, I'm assuming. Can you imagine Twin Blades variant with an Abathur hat and all of that? Oh, God. They are just going full. I wouldn't call this a cheese. I would just call this a draft that I would look at and be like, oh, God, we have to deal with this. We just have to play against this.
It would have been funny if they went Juice Pirates with the Tyrael, but not showing up here. But, man, here's the United States just trying to have a bit of fun, I think, in a potentially game-ending series. So I think if they're going to draft something like that, I don't think you're feeling too down in the dumps. So
nope.
I'm very excited to see what they end up pulling out here with this draft.
I definitely, the way that it looks to me, it's like, all right, we're going to, we're in our game 3. This is tournament life. Let's have some fun. Like, let's give everybody a show. And if maybe they're sitting there like, we'll pull this out. And if it wins, it wins. We'll go to game 4. If it doesn't, well, at least we had some fun. And I think that's the big thing, and that's what I actually really, really love about the Nexus Gaming series is these teams, they're here for fun. There's always emotions involved with video games. If you lose, it does take a toll on you. You get sad. Like I've lost in Heroes type tournaments that have zero value, and I'm just like, yeah, that was a couple bad plays. Like I could have done this better, and you beat yourself up a little bit. But I know these teams are here for the fun, and we loaded in quick because even this game is ready to go. And Cat Peach, let's get into this. Take us away on the left-hand side.
In the left, up 2-0 in this best of 5, we do have Bellevue College. We are going to see Catroms on that Genji. We're going to see Alex Dude Guy up on Arthas. Commandmo will be on Tychus, Koi on Johanna, and Wenamon on the Brightwing.
And on the right-hand side, Heroes of the United States trying to stay in this grand finals. We'll see if they're able to do it with Jub going to be on the Tyrael, actually. Andrew going to be on the Chen. Waterboy TDK on the Illidan, who you might have not been prepared for it. Watson on that variant, who's probably going to be Twin Blades. And then Blaze rounding out the team on the Abathur. And I think this will be the first game where we don't actually have to mess up, Blaze and team fights. Oh, no, if they go clone, then it's going to be fine, because it's going to be Blaze on that variant. But either way, both these teams go into the mid lane to start this out, and we definitely see that shield build already starting for the Abathur on them. But they're diving in, and they're trying to find some damage here, but Waterboy TDK is so low! The first kill of the game already going over. Not even a minute in, Cat Peach.
Well, yeah, that was a very aggressive dive. And even though you have someone like Illidan on your team, going in that hard so soon, a little bit risky. I would agree.
Sorry, I just saw Zixeris in chat, so I'm assuming, I think you might have got a message out to, someone got a message out to him, because he is here and ready for some Chen. But Genji is actually going to get a little bit of a harassment onto Jub, which, funny enough, Jub is the support player for the team and going to be playing Tyrael, who was actually played by, who was it in the last game? Wasn't it, was it Waterboy TDK?
Waterboy TDK was on the Falstad.
Right, because he is typically solo.
Yeah.
Maybe it was, no, Andrew was on the noob rack. Either way,
yes.
But Jub is typically the support, so it's just interesting just to have that kind of rotation in heroes. We are at level 3 to 2. There is a slight experience advantage in favor for the members of Bellevue College. We'll see what that turns into after the first curse point that pops up here in the next minute and 15. But camp's going to be picked up, lane rotations, and people are just looking to set up the map and get prepared for the first curse.
Oh, and that High King's Quest coming out from Varian, like you're saying. Twin Blades or Riot. Jub.
Watson.
Or sorry, for Watson.
Watson was the one who was on Tyrael. There we go. That's what it was. Okay. But Waterboy gonna get.
Figured all that out.
We did it. Waterboy going to clear out that camp, and they'll be able to push that into mid lane. And we do have the first objective popping up in the next 45 seconds. And lane's cleared out. Actually, I would say that the timing on the bruiser on the bruiser camp, or excuse me, the siege camp for the members of Bellevue College was a lot stronger and more well timed out, because it should hit as it's pulling members into that top lane. But granted, RNG, it's in the same lane that they can clear it out.
Shen keeping an eye around the tribute spawn for a little bit.
He's holding. He's holding.
Yeah.
Sorry, Watson's holding.
He's just keeping an eye on Tychus.
Oh, I'm keeping an eye currently. No, it's Colossal Smash.
Aww.
It's not Windblades. But Colossal Smash
No,
still.
wait, we see a meme dream of the Hinterland's Last Judgment
Yes.
and Planet Cracker, but we're
Yes.
not going to see the Twin Blades.
Come
All
on,
right,
Watson.
Otis.
Come on, Watson. Yeah, exactly. Come on, Hodis. Not just Watson, the whole team. Shame on all of you. No, we currently have the first tribute popping up here, and it looks like Koi should be able to get this uncontested, and they will. Really, the members of Heroes of the United States not prioritizing this. Maybe they're waiting specifically for the 10s, and they just know that they can't fight this 4v5?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit rough if they go in for those fights, because again, you're going to have Brightwing getting the side soak, even if you are trying to get the fights for a little bit. She'll come in, heal up the team, and then make your day terrible with the polymorph. They just have a lot of control with the Johanna, with the Arthas as well, to punish that Illidan, punish that Chen. So I think waiting for that level 10 where they can get into these full fights, but they're trying to get the kill into Tychus. Not quite there yet, but as this Abathur hat starts to build up, we might be able to see more kill potential coming later in the game on the side of Heroes of the United States.
Andrew trying to bring some pandemonium to Kamamo's face, and it's not going to work out just yet. But bottom lane, Alex Dude Guy doing a really good job of pushing back Watson. They will be forced back, and Joanna already's on the point. No one's there. They have to give this over. I think, honestly, Cat Peach, they're just playing this and letting them have it. They know that they can't take these fights, I think, outside of 10. Which is... That's a hard way to play this game, but Alex Dude Guy might be in a bit of a bad spot.
The sooner that you give up the first tribute, the longer it is until the second, and early tributes aren't going to get too much value typically. And so just saying we're gonna give it to you as soon as possible just so we can get the first one out of the way, 10s will then come after, and then we can maybe engage in this a little bit more, is I think the play they're going for. The Colossus Smack going out onto Alex, just being able to barely get away. One with the heals, keeping the Arthas alive.
They stay alive. And so I was thinking about like what you're saying about, you know, giving these over a little bit quicker so it just goes a little bit faster. The only thing though is it really hinders the Abathur portion of your composition. That's where Abathur, if you can delay this out, you can sit there and poke, you can draw it out. You just don't let them capitalize on it. Abathur gets that body soak in, you know, the furthest opposing lane, and you get the hat soak in a lane, or you just have the hat value. So you're still getting that experience and you're at least closing that gap. Now, granted, it's not the biggest gap between these two teams. We're only looking at about a 1,000 experience difference between the two, but it still is. It's going to be that 10s first once again for Bellevue College, and they're you know, petering behind on the side of Heroes of the United States as they are playing this. They're playing a really slow and not crazy aggressive game here. They're not, you know, diving over walls, but they currently have a bit of a brawl currently going out on Alex the Duke Guy, Cat Peach.
Yeah, they're trying to get the kill. The Brightwing's going to teleport in. Arthur's still taking a lot of damage. Can Hodis get the kill? Waterboy about to fall. Illidan is going to go down, and that is most of the damage coming out. Jen going to go down as well, and we are looking at a 2v5. Jub and Watson just going to be separated entirely. Catron going to get the kill on Tyrael. This curse is going to go over to Bellevue College, and they got a can push mid, they got a can push in top. This is looking real good if you're Bellevue, but if you're Here's the United States, the fun and games that you came for seem to be lacking the fun aspect, I think, in terms of positioning in the game.
Oh, that's a rough spot to be in right there, to be down, to basically have 2 levels jumped up, or not 2 levels, but that huge experience that just popped up here. And then just really quickly, I saw in chat, they actually chose this day to play the game. So the prep time was on them. We told them we had a lot more days available, but they wanted to play it today. C-Smash coming out from Watson onto one of the members, and the dive-in from Cantrops. And they might be able to get Watson in this situation. I think they might even go for more, as that is going to be the Dragon Blade coming out as well, Cat Peach.
Yeah, this keep taking a lot of damage. That camp on it as well. Couple minutes in, and we're looking at 12-9 in terms of experience. Waterboy going to fall. I think Bellevue might be trying to end here.
I think this is the fastest Nexus Gaming Series match I think I've ever casted. Like, we're watching speedrun grand finals, and yeah, the C Smash comes out. That's going to be Bellevue College taking Division B for the Nexus Gaming Series in a 3-0 sweep. GG, well played.
Yeah, Bellevue not messing around. Here's the United States. It was fun to see kind of the fun draft coming out at the end, but a very quick defeat on their side. Your grand final champions, Bellevue College in Season 5 of the Nexus Gaming Series.
Congratulations indeed to them. That last game was methodical. It was heavily played out. Now, granted, yeah, they went into a bit of a meme comp against them, but 7 minutes, 25 seconds? I was not expecting this, Cat Peach. And I just realized this. They picked up Syndragosa. They picked up Draken Laser Drill.
They were gonna play things a little bit unorthodox themselves, it looks like, had this gone a little bit longer and had the opportunity to really use those on multiple occasions. But just ending it so soon, you might as well just pick them up and run it down mid. Literally running it down mid.
They ran it straight through and took the game, but let's go ahead and jump up into Lobby 1 where we have Catrum sitting in there for us. Alrighty, and joining us at this time is Cantrom's. Congratulations on your 3-0 victory and the title of Division B champions. How you feeling?
Pretty good. Went through a really good season. Glad that we came out on top at the end.
So let's talk about that end. First off, did you expect to beat the map sub 9 minutes? Like, did you expect to do this map this quickly? And a follow up to that is, did you expect this composition out of them in this game 3?
Well, we definitely didn't expect this composition out of them. We got the first Abathur pick, and we're like, oh, well, they don't really play Abathur. I think this is their first time playing it, so we're like, all right, well, they're probably not super experienced on it. And then they brought out that comp, and yeah, it really caught us off. We didn't think it was a particularly great comp, and then yeah, so we just punished them for it, and then won I think 7:30, I believe.
Yeah, 7:25 was the end time that I'm currently looking at. Were you a little scared about the pandemonium at all? Like, just a little bit? Were you just like, ooh, this Chen might catch us off guard? Or are you just like, no, it's Chen, it's whatever, dude.
So our group of our team has played many of Team League games where the random picks Chen and int feeds the entire game and loses it by itself. So we do not have a very high opinion of Chen. We didn't think it was a big threat, and so yeah, I definitely don't think that Chen was super big deal at all.
Well, it showed. I'll pass it over to Cat Peach.
I mean, you all had a really incredible season. You dropped one game all season as well, even in the playoffs. So I think that just speaks a lot to your level of skill. I really don't have questions. I am just really impressed by what you pulled out today. The first pick, Mephisto, in game 1. We think we were a little caught off guard by that, but you ended up making it work. Were you actually worried about maybe Mephisto having a rough time being in that first pick slot, or is it something that your team is just so comfortable running that you were like, well, we can put it in the first pick and not have to worry about too much?
I always do the research going in, and then this time we had Koi, who's normally our sub, in for drafting, and so our drafts get a lot better with him. We had planned on that beforehand, and we definitely planned for them to take that Johanna early, because we're just going through the research earlier. We knew that Mephisto is good into the assassins that they like to play, and it's definitely good into Johanna, and then they clumped up, and we had the chance to let Mephisto shine.
Oh, yeah. That Mephisto was scary. It's not something that I would want to run into myself in even a quick match or an unranked, just any game. It was just like, oh, yeah, you make Mephisto seem more scary than he even is. Oof.
Yeah, just it has to be, in certain situations, he can just really dominate a game, and thankfully we got that situation.
Oh my god, absolutely. Now, Towers of Doom. There were a couple points where I think they kind of had a couple spots in you, especially after they had their 10s, where they had the nice big blow up on a couple members with their triple wombo, I guess you could say. Was there any kind of shakiness to that, where you just like, oh, we need to like monitor, like we need to like kind of like pause for a second, adjust our play so we don't get caught out by this? Or were you just like, it's not that big of a deal because it's basically a 2-minute wombo every time, maybe a little bit less?
Yeah, definitely the latter. So it was like a big wombo, and I don't think a lot of us got caught in it. So mostly Wendemon was saying the holy crap, they just blew everything on me. And then even then, he'd still have a chance to blink heal and maneuver around a little bit. So blew a lot of cooldowns to take him down. And then even then, Brightwing in the team fight, not maybe as super impactful as other supports. He got his cooldowns off, got his healing off, and so then we can just finish the rest of them off. It
was such a great game, and you guys played. I gotta say, your Brightwing play through this tournament really shows that Brightwing had a lot of great adjustments come through, and it's a very viable and a very strong healer. Cat Peach, do you have any other follow-up questions?
Just gonna say GG's, congratulations, and bask in your victory for a little bit.
Oh yeah. And actually, before we kind of wrap this up a bit, and I let you do shoutouts, what's next for Bellevue College team? What do you guys? Are you going into Heroes Lounge? Are you gonna get ready for TESPA? Because TESPA Training Grounds is right now. Are you gonna prepare for dorms? What's next?
Well, here's the best part. So, one, we're gonna scrap the name Bellevue College because we're tired of that. 2 of our members go to Bellevue College. The rest of us go to UW because we had some transfers. It's like an inside joke meme at this point. So
just be Bellevue UW.
we can't do a dorm team with this one because we don't all go to the same college anymore because there was some transferring. I think some of us might compete under the UW flag if we have the other players for Bellevue. Like we can scrap up a 5-man team. And I think that they want to as well. But other than that, not really a lot of big plans going in. Probably just take a break, kind of.
Play some games and have some fun. But yeah, no, thank you so much for the interview. Thank you so much for these games. Congratulations once again on your victory. But before we kind of wrap up this interview, any shoutouts that you have for the internet?
I mean, I'll just shout out NGS for putting up a really good season. We had a lot of fun. Definitely played our minds out and just enjoyed doing that every week or so.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the interview. Thank you so much for the games. Congratulations once again, and have a great night and enjoy your celebration.
All right, thanks.
Alrighty, everybody. At this time, it is going to start wrapping it up for Cat Peach and I, but don't go anywhere because we'll wrap up ourselves, and then we'll hopefully get this channel hosted over onto someone else. I was pinging someone, or actually maybe I should actually ping someone at Ara, if we can host over JHal. But there's a bit of a delay, so Cat Peach, this has been so much fun. Season 5 of the Nexus Gaming Series has been so much fun to cast with you, but that kind of does it for us for this season. Any closing thoughts before we kind of get out of here?
Yeah, I mean, as always, had a blast. It was great casting more with you. I got to cast with a lot of other newer casters as well this season, so that was really exciting. Thanks to all the teams for being really great to work with throughout the season and for giving us some really great games to cast. And it's been a blast. We'll probably see you in season 6. Not going anywhere. So in the off season, if you wanna connect, CatPeachGG on Twitch and Twitter, you can find me there. Playing games and talking about heroes. So hope to see you then.
And I am Bahamut. You can find me at Bahamut Gaming on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. I do a lot of casting and I do some playing. And as Cat Peach said, in the off season, a lot more games. So catch us feeding in Hero League together, or excuse me, Team League together typically. Because we're that's how we're filling the void and waiting for more casting to come up. But this has been so much fun. Thank you all so much for being here. Major shout out to the Nexus Gaming Series for all of this, and a huge shout out, of course, to Kagekiri, who did all of our observation tonight. He moved the camera so smoothly. So thank you. Just shout out to him. He actually does a lot of the open division observation as well. So a phenomenal dude and a great observation production asset. But that wraps it up for us. Thank you all so much for being here. We will be back for season 6 of the Nexus Gaming Series and more. But until then, we'll see you in the Nexus. Have a great night, everybody.